Huh? Oh no. They're broken. I didn't do anything different. The creature. I normally run cheap if I'm playing a particularly busty game. Particularly like detailed game. Yeah, no, it is. I have already went through and turned it on medium and everything else for graphics. Uh so it does not proceed to blow up the computer. I know they've updated since then. Hey, yo! Down, boy. Let's see here. But yeah, no, wanted to give World a try, so we're vibing. We are live over on IRIAM too. Yeah, no, it used to have really bad frame rate. Hello, Billie Eilish lover. Welcome, welcome, hun. I am MomoYumeko, magical girl in training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming over here on IRIAM and a few days a week over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. Still kinda does. That makes sense. We'll see how this goes. Transition over to gaming. There we go. And boop. Hello. We're starting Monster Hunter Wilds. I have audio in my headphones. Just so I don't get bonked by IRIAM. Opening up my soda. Don't worry, I do have water next to me. Do. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been a hot minute since I've played Monster Hunter. Oh! Straight into the Gormagala situation? Pretty sure that looks like Gormagala.
What do we do? This is awful. Where do we go now? The village.
Turning this down just a tad bit.
You. This way.
It's a little too loud for me. About there. But yeah, no, that looks like Gormagala.
What are you doing?
Probably not, but it did look like him.
Nata, you can escape through here.
Escape?
People out there will help you.
But what about you?
Hello, Max. Welcome, welcome, hun. I am MomoYumeko, magical girl in training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming over here on IRIAM, and a few days a week over on Twitch. We're live with some Monster Hunter Wilds, and we're just kind of vibing. No, I did not say T13. The Forbidden Lands, a region that was split off from civilization over 1,000 years ago. Okay, we're not gonna get to read the whole thing. Oh well. We are playing Monster Hunter Wilds, and I was reading,
Visibility.
some of the stuff that was on it.
Dust haze present.
On screen. Hi, Derek! Welcome, welcome, on.
Monsters.
Clear.
Small monsters.
Clear.
What, Monster Hunter Wilds?
Endemic life.
It's like a,
A number of native
it's literally what's on the box is it's a Monster Hunter hunting game.
Other anomalies.
You hunt big monster, get weapons, that
Other
sort of thing.
Anomalies.
Explore.
down there.
Not like
Someone's in
Demon Slayer, no.
Set us down along the desert perimeter.
It's literally you hunt down monsters, make weapons out of their parts, that sort of thing.
Can't be a child.
I do, but I also want to make sure of something.
Are you alright?
Real quick, can I do an age check? May I ask how old you are?
He's still breathing. It's an ancient
I do have a
language.
Discord, but I also, do want to make sure that my dreamers have been here for a little bit. Okay, yeah, no, that's a big red flag. Sorry, man.
He's dehydrated.
I thought the Forbidden Lands were uninhabited, sir.
It seems we must do a
Nope.
more thorough
That is a flag. Big red flag with that one. How does a kid even get on here? Nope. Bunk. It is interesting that they went with more of the art style of how Rise did. At least a little bit. Because I've played Monster Hunter Rise. Decent bit of it. I don't think I've ever finished it. But I have played Rise quite a bit. Hunter. We are going to do our best to make them look like Momo. Detailed settings. Whoops. Yeah, no, I know. I'm not looking forward to it. That's part of the reason why I didn't, stream yesterday. It's just the at least on IRIAM end, it's just the, like, how do you change the... Am I doing something wrong? Am I blind? I might be. Let me move this up a little bit. Whoops. Okay. Let's go to detailed settings. Yeah, there's a lot of drama, but, like, I can deal with the drama on IRIAM. It's just that, the freaking children is very annoying. I think we're gonna go with this. We're gonna go with the braids. Base color. Oh gosh, how do we do... Here. Go with high saturation and then bump it over. Like that? Yeah, that looks about correct. Accent color is accent. I'll set it to that color just in case. Oh! It's that bit. Do that at yellow. And high do it at high brightness. But yeah, no, I can handle the drama on the app. Hi Shadowroo! Welcome, welcome, hun! It's just that I don't like kids coming in here. Oh, you can make it shorter or longer. That's kind of cool. Go with that. Skin texture. Ooh. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we'll go with 2. But yeah, welcome everybody! We're doing some Monster Hunter Wilds. And just vibing. This bit we're gonna make darker. Still gonna do the normal pink, but like darker pink. There we go. Oh, whoops. We're doing the character creator. I'm making it as close to Momo as possible. T-Rex. Oh, World! Yes! Oh, Anjanoff. MacBook Pro, as I call him. Hi, Dilfa! Welcome, welcome, hun! But yeah, no, MacBook Pro, as I call him. The most annoying dinosaur ever. There we go. And then Scalera, that could stay that color. Exactly, Overcast! You get the vision! Oh, my personal favorite is, Devil Joe. Which, if anybody is from, knows anything from freaking, the old games, well, Devil Joe's annoying. The Pickle, which I'm pretty sure he's in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if he is. Yeah, we'll go with that. boop up the transparency just a little, just a smidge. And then that, oops. But yeah, like, I liked World. World is probably my favorite Monster Hunter game, in my opinion. Is it perfect? No. But I like it a lot. And then I normally add like some kind of random bit. To my hunter. Yeah, we'll go with the symbol. Do blue like normal. Bring up our brightness. Like so. And then clothing. I think I'm gonna stick to that. And that. There we go. Hope, leather, that. I think we're gonna go baseline hope. And then Palico. We're gonna... Which one? World or... I know that it mentioned... I think it's... I saw something about, crossplay on... Hi, Sequoia! And audio. Welcome, welcome, hun. I think it... I don't think World did, but I think... Or, World didn't. But I do think, possibly Wilds did, but I'm not sure. Yeah. A lot of people, the thing I heard about Wilds was that it took what World had and pretty much they considered Wilds to be like if World wasn't as popular as it did. There we go. World does not have crossplay. Yeah, I think it's because World wasn't like World was made around where they weren't really thinking that it was going to be as popular as it was. Which doesn't, like, make it okay, but I understand why it doesn't have crossplay. Which one looks more like Riss? Oh, Worlds blew up. Or, yeah, World blew up. World was what made Monster Hunter kind of a little bit mainstream back in 2018. Because Monster Hunter was very popular over in Japan, but it was very niche over here in the States, sadly. I loved World. And I liked the older games. Oh, it still has a strong player base. I think they still get updates, I'm pretty sure. They get updates for the quests. But yeah, no, it's very much alive. It's awesome. This part's the white. I think I'm gonna go with this one. 'Cause that way I can do the pink. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna attempt to make this look like Riss. Gods have mercy upon my soul of what I'm about to do. Time for the brightest freaking palico known to man. Oh wait, no, that's still the pause. Never mind. There we go. And then this part. Whoops. I mean, I don't really need to. We just need brightness, and then turn down the saturation. Maybe. Oh, this part also. There we go. Ears. Make it the biggest ears known to man. Actually, we'll do the flat ears. Eyes. Pupils. There we go. I want them as, like, round as possible. Oh, more face markings. Oh boy. I really don't like any of them. Okay. A lot of cutscenes that are gonna happen in a row settle in, kind of makes you nervous after the first time. Yeah, no, I agree. Oh no! Look at Riss down there! Oh no! He's so bright! He's bright white and pink! Okay. Here we go! Yeah, no! It's so bad! Display some. I'm used to Monster Hunter, and if there's any new stuff, it'll just be the new things. Off. Start game with these character settings? Yep. Alrighty! Oh, wait, I forgot to post this in lobby server. Hang on. Hang on, doing the shenanigans. Boop.
Okay.
Let's do this. Nothing so far. Oh, hey there.
Hey!
The language yet?
Over here! Yeah? Hey, over here, Hunter!
Your reputation precedes you, Hunter. I trust you know what I've called you here to discuss.
Yes, sir. The Forbidden Lands.
Indeed. But more precisely about the boy we rescued in the vicinity. Entry to the region itself has been restricted for 1,000 years. We thought it completely uninhabited. Any remnants of its ancient civilization rest solely in historical record. Now imagine our surprise to have discovered this boy. He claimed to be part of a clan, the Keepers. He said they have a village.
But yeah, no,
a land we thought uninhabited for ages. A few years have passed.
Wild
but
was
the
my
Academy,
favorite.
Of course, has remained skeptical.
IMO,
This
but...
village. Is there evidence
Or
it
World.
exists?
World was my favorite.
Nothing absolute.
But,
But
Monster Hunter 3
the
was
mysterious
also a good one.
composition of the boy's pendant suggests it might. And as for how we came to rescue the boy,
I think it was once.
Sir.
No, it's 4 I'm thinking of. Never mind.
it seems a certain
Still in the
monster
old
had
world.
forced him to flee.
3DS
attacked
era.
his village, and he escaped alone. Unfortunately, the underground tunnel he used to make his escape collapsed.
Take my sippy.
We found him, took him in, and here we are.
Do we know the status
Num,
of the
num,
village?
num.
Unknown.
And of the monster?
Unknown.
It's so weird
However,
hearing the hunter
The
talk.
scholars hypothesize that it may be a monster, which we thought to have perished long ago.
An extinct species.
They're calling
Oh.
it the White Wraith. The Guild has authorized the rescue of the Keepers and an investigation into this monster. I've selected you as a lead hunter for this expedition.
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
interesting. We're the lead
Finding
hunter
the
in this
village
one.
won't be easy. You'll need the proper guide. Speaking of which, I have an extra assignment for you.
Oh, is that our guild marm?
Hello, my name is Alma. Come on. It's okay.
And the kid that we saved.
How are ya? Great.
Oh,
As soon as we
yeah.
find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can
Gemma.
get started. This is gonna be great.
You bet.
Yeah. I hope we find them soon.
I will say, the hairstyles in this game are really good. Cool.
Aye!
Are we having another situation where we get shipwrecked? Just in the worst area possible.
They're exceptionally agitated. Could they be chasing something? It's a person! Bring us closer!
Go, little chocobo friend.
We're still
I know it's not a chocobo, but it kind of reminds me of the chocobos. The bird lizards.
That's our ride.
Can you reach it?
I have to try.
I'm coming too.
But yeah, no, the bird lizards remind me of chocobos, just more lizardy. The chocobo's more chaotic cousin. Oh, that's too good. You can get a... Heck yeah, my bird friend can be a chocobo. Heck yes. I am making a beeline for that because that's my most used thing.
Here we go.
Oh no,
Hold on.
we're already doing this.
We gotta save that girl.
Is there a way to sprint? Or is this just the speed we're going? I like how it looks like Hunter is having an issue
Don't think we can make it through there.
writing it. It's a little freaky!
Looks like it
That's
knows the
too
way.
good. That's too good. The chocobo starts crawling around on its, like, wing feathers. Or on its wings. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, these guys kind of run on their...
She's in trouble.
I know what to do.
Screamer pod. Go away. No. It is Monster Hunter Wilds.
Hang on. Let's get out of here.
I'll cover you.
Oh, yeah. The plugin is.
Yeah, right
Oh,
on
wait.
target.
Back. Back, sandworms. Yeah.
On your flank.
Yeah, it shows my account, stuff. And what my arsenal looks like.
Look at all of them on the rocks too.
Pew, pew.
I bet we can bring those rocks down.
I think we're home free.
A lot more cinematic than the, opening for, World.
Look, the others. We've got company.
Back.
Hunter, we might need this.
Throw it now.
What you eating at me? Oh! Great sword! Not a bad choice. I prefer hammer, but I can mess around with a great sword.
Here.
The little horns on her head are cute.
You're okay now.
Oh, look at the fluff!
Hey, it's okay.
Look at the floofy boy!
Yeah. So much for this region being uninhabited. It must be a type of focus.
Oh, the floofy palico!
Inside, we were doing sacred practice. But then it came. My brother. What came? One of the things that was chasing you earlier? It's okay.
Uh-oh.
And your brother, where is he? He told me to.
Oh, that's actually really funny.
Sounds like trouble.
Made hers look like a Pikachu.
Can you tell us who he
Pikachu
is?
palico.
The sacred. He
Let's find
Burb.
them.
Burb wyvern.
I'm with you. Everyone else, focus on scouting for a campsite.
Understood. Just send a signal if you need backup.
I'm gonna adjust the
We'll leave some supplies
the screen
for you.
size.
I'll keep
'Cause
an eye on
I
you.
noticed that it's cutting off part of the screen on my end.
Coming.
So I'm gonna fix that.
Please.
I run it in windowed mode so I can so I don't have to tab out every time.
We're counting on you.
Come with me, okay? Don't worry. I'll be back soon.
Burb.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, the secrets, secrets, the burbs, they are very cute.
Be careful out there.
They're absolutely adorable.
We should prepare a bit, just in case.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Actually, we'll get out of windowed mode. There we go. It's not stuttering
Oh,
too
that's
bad.
right.
There's 14 weapons. Did they add any new ones?
Wonderful. In that case, equip yourself.
I think I'm split between hammer or bow. I'm a hammer and bow main, so I think I'm gonna go hammer, honestly. For now.
You can try out your weapon over here. Once you've got a feel for the weapon, we'll head out. We can head back to camp if you need to change your weapon.
Okay.
Oh. Have you chosen your weapon?
Um. Do we still have? Oh, that's weird. I think I can handle doing that as the Dragon Piercer. Dragon Piercer feels quicker. Alrighty. know, they're kind of like the scout bugs.
Did you hear that? It's coming from in there.
Hi, Dream Tripper! Welcome, welcome, hun. We are playing some Monster Hunter Wilds.
Down
We'll
there.
start in 2. Oh no, it broke its wing! Oh. I recognize you. I think. He looks familiar. Oh, heck yeah. Well, hopefully you enjoy your lurking.
Come on, bud. We have to run.
We're just playing some Monster Hunter Wilds and vibing. Oh, are we about to get badge?
Go! But I can't just leave him.
I'll help. Hurry.
Big old bullfrog.
Caution, Hunter. Your target is a Chatacabra, an amphibian type.
Yeah.
The guild authorizes you to
Yeah, no,
immediately
no.
neutralize this threat.
No issue on that. What? Its tongue's not a weak spot? Looked like its face was. Okay. Oh! Hi there, Jay! Yeah, stay safe, hon. Woo. Same part will open a wound.
Aim for the wound while I get its attention.
Its wound is on its face, and it keeps moving.
Hey, monster!
Focus strike.
Over here! I'm the one you want!
There we go. Oh, that's a weird way to do it.
Hey, monster! Over here! I'm the one
Ow.
you want!
Where the heck? I'm doing pretty good. Playing some Monster Hunter Wild. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds. And getting through the tracker. We'll deplete the trick arrow gauge. Hold to charge gauge once it's glowing. Okay. So charge. Oh, that's so cute. So we charge. Ready, tracker? I hate that.
Hey, monster! Over here! I'm the one you want! Now, engaging with the target.
I am aiming for wounds.
I should heal up.
Take your sippy. Ow. Holy heck. Yeah, no, time flies with kiddos.
The monster's exhausted! Looks like it's moving to a new area.
Oh, you can actually aim the wyvern shot now? Okay. So LB. Alright. Off we go. There we go. 3 feet tall. He's grown big. Yeah, no, so I'm used to, with the bow in World, right?
I must return.
There we go.
The rest on you.
I'm sorry about the delay.
There we go.
Lock broken. Nice work. Monster down.
And here we go. We got bugs.
Sorry for the wait. Did you find your ghost brother? Yes, he's safe.
Let me go. Let me go. I don't like bugs. Don't like the bugs. Yeah, that's what we saw. Ugh. The freaking frame rate. Please don't lick me. Or ground pound me.
Thanks, that helps.
Ow.
It's on its last legs. What's your move?
Ooh, we got him super hurt. Okay. All over here. Pull out bow.
How are you holding up?
Oh, we're getting there. Off we go. Chasing after him. But yeah, no, I've played Wilds, or not Wilds, World, for the longest. I'm actually working on my, like, 5th or 6th, complete playthrough of World. Oh! The enemy, the ally. Can I get off? Please, please, let me off. Thank you. Don't want to drink a potion, but that's fine. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of people like to, get to experience, like, that kind of thing. Yeah, I used to love cultural festivals when they would happen in Chattanooga. In our area. I mean, you'd have to drive a good bit, but I used to love, going to the cultural festivals. Mostly because they didn't happen a lot in my area. Oh my gosh! Dude in an entire suit. Oh my gosh! Yeah, no. Ugh. I would die of heat stroke. An entire tux in Las Vegas? Mm-mm.
There.
Gosh. Y'all are in the middle of a desert. An actual desert. I also love how pretty the bird mounts are.
Allow us to introduce ourselves.
Wait. Hold on. Did you really do that? There's no way you should have been able to.
I think he was trying to get himself a Hawaiian baby girl. Crazy Dio. Yeah, no. The heat stroke vibes are real.
She's safe. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll take you to her, alright?
Hold up, where's my wig at?
You made it! What a fascinating...
I need me a sugar daddy.
Any trouble finding us?
None at all.
crazy, Dio.
Okay.
I mean, in this economy, we all almost need a sugar daddy.
Back already?
I'm desperate. I need money.
Just over there.
She's been worried, Sec.
You know, I've thought it a time or two, but I have not
This
gotten to the point yet.
I'm telling you, we just need some space. She's fine. What she needs
which we're perfectly capable of.
Nona!
Lisa, you're okay.
The winds.
Just
She's fine. Now scram. Go. Back to your station.
I jokingly, I hear feet sell well on OF, but you know,
I didn't properly think.
jokingly.
Everything just happened so fast. I didn't know what to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Find yourself a sugar mama.
I'm Isai. My sister and I are from a nearby village.
My name is Nona. It's wonderful to meet you. I'm Alma. The others.
There's a little bit of choppiness, but it's not too bad.
We're from a place far out west.
Better hope she ain't old. Saber-toothed tiger's where the money's at. we don't call that a cougar. We call that a saber-toothed tiger. I keep trying to date a granny. What happened back there?
That situation back there.
Oh, it was all my fault. I was careless. I was helping Nona in riot practice. And
She's
a giant
gonna
toad
have a
fell
heart attack after
I told
one
Nona to run for it
flash.
while I got its
What?
attention.
What
When
flash?
my sister and I tried to get away, I slipped.
What are you
Held
flashing
back.
her?
And so, who
With?
exactly are the two of you?
Oh right. We must have really.
What are you talking about, Jay?
Forgive me for my lack of understanding, but do you use those
My
tools?
wallet.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Back where we're from, specialists use these tools to protect others from large creatures.
Cue the jokingly cue the butterflies. Or the moths.
Brandished at other people, of course. Only those with special
What?
powers are allowed to use them.
I didn't know what you were reading. The flash.
Specialists, permission. It's all new to me. But I'm just glad you were there.
I didn't know if you were meaning like a camera flash, because that's the first thing that came into brain. Was camera flash.
That won't do to keep you talking. Let's take a look at those wounds. Why don't we have a look around base camp?
Well, normally you take pictures of your girlfriend.
Where should we go first?
Like when you guys go on dates and stuff. Hi, King Tom. Talk to Nada. There's a lot of people I gotta talk to. I see, there's probably gonna be sundries. I gotta talk to a bunch of people, so.
Thanks for looking after Nata and the other kid. Oh, and nice throwback there.
I do know that the blacksmith lady is from, was it 3? Was it Monster Hunter 3? I think it might have been Monster Hunter 3. She's the blacksmith's
Well, I got everything set up
daughter.
and ready to go. What'd you think? It's not ideal, but I can make do.
Pretty sure.
Especially since we might be on the move soon.
I could be wrong.
But don't you worry. I can still make anything you need to succeed out in the field.
I know a little bit about World. Or Wild.
Got materials?
I keep
get you something.
mixing
If you
them
don't have
together.
enough, I got you covered.
Yippee!
What are we making today?
Ooh, what is the bone armor? Does the bone armor look like the normal bone armor? It does! I'm just getting rid of notifications. And you can actually see the preview screen, unlike World, where your preview screen is right behind the thing. Honestly, I like this one better. Because you get the, like, gas mask. Ooh, I want to see the Palico equipment for the Chatakaba. Chatakabra? Yeah, Chatakabra! Ooh, tomato basil soup with grilled cheese. That sounds amazing. Ooh. I like tomato soup. My acid reflux doesn't like tomato soup, but I like tomato soup. Not gonna lie, the Chatakabra suit for the Palico is kinda cute. Does the Kinesex look the same?
Anything catch your eye?
Yep, they look exactly the same.
Anything catch your eye?
Hello, Rosie. Welcome, welcome, hun. We're playing some, Monster Hunter Wilds. Change equipment. Yeah, we'll keep the Hope stuff on. Wearing a jacket yesterday.
Well, that's an...
I think jacket isn't too bad. Didn't realize how pale I got over the years. Were you nice and roasty toasty? after then.
Hey there.
Nice,
Oh.
bro,
Hello.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, no, same. I have gotten paler over the years. The Hawaiian Michael Jackson. That's too good. How are you holding up?
I guess. I'm okay.
Crazy Deo.
I was
What's
so
worse is
surprised
I'm
when you
scrawny
took off the
like him
photo to that
too.
That was amazing. You think so? Yeah. Let's talk again later. Okay.
Alright. Talk to our boy. Talk to the guildmates.
Well, look who it is. That was quite
The
a
pretty
show you put
paladin
on
looking
back
lady.
there. They told me you were good, but they failed to mention you were halfway out of your mind. I'm Olivia. We'll be working together a lot on this
They told us you were a good hunter, but you're half crazy because no one would have done that.
So, there's no better place to learn this dream.
So they set up
I
a
see.
training area,
You're the
huh?
trainer
Why don't we
area.
stop by?
Nah, I'm good. I'm not entering the training area. I don't feel like it.
Well, if it ain't the Avis unit, here to stock up on provisions? Well, you
There's
came
the
to right place,
fishing person.
but we're still in the support team is a little behind schedule, so I can't really provide. But they should be here any time now. I'll get back to you after the meeting. Deal?
I think it's almost time for our meeting.
The bad part is, why is everybody all hot? Why are all the guild members hot?
Because you're bisexual.
I mean, that's part of the problem. Or part of the reason. They knew what they were doing.
All right, is everyone here?
Oh, I want to join!
Astrid.
Yeah, no, all of them are hot.
Faramir, present.
Let's see. Provisions, research. We're here for the most part.
Let's start with the good news. Thanks to everyone, we're off to an excellent...
They're all different flavors of it.
Indeed, we've already made human contact.
The next thing to discuss is our short-term goals. We have two objectives: rescue the
Like,
keepers and locate the white
our
wolf that attacked the
handler
village. Unfortunately,
is like the nerdy cute.
we don't know any other way to find his people.
Any idea how long you...
Paladin lady is really pretty.
I walked for several days. I'm not sure which way. After a while, it all started to look the same.
Then we'll need to split up, make our search as wide as
The lady
possible.
that runs the
Good deal. Except I think it'd be better if you held off
armory
until the support team arrives.
is also hot.
No objections here.
She's tall, blonde, and muscular. Like,
Project to survey the Forbidden Land has been in the works for years.
they
And
knew
now
what
here
they were
we are.
doing.
Finally. Thank you
To be
all.
fair, a blacksmith
Sorry to
should be
cause so much
muscular.
It's
That
all
is
right,
hard
guys.
work.
We're in this together.
First things first, I think we ought to escort Nona and Isai back to their village.
The iconic blonde and with blue eyes.
Seems wise. If we're lucky,
And
someone there might have some information about the keepers.
Bill.
Why don't we stop by our tent and prepare before we go?
Hey, can one of you help me out? My stockpile of honey is running low.
And like, most of the guildies are all hot too.
Where the heck?
Oh, is this where we... There's just a Vita, bug in here. I wonder if that's where you get your potions. Just get the Vita bug, nectar. Vitalibug, there we go. Can we just hop on? We can just hop on them. Based. We can ride the burb, like we can in Rise with our doggo. Okay, can we get off? Please? Can we get off the bird instead of, auto running everywhere? Please, let me off. Thank you. Make use of your 10. Oh! That's kind of cool. We can adjust our radial stuff. Oh, that's nice. Alrighty.
How's that wound looking? Does it still hurt?
Talk to Alma.
I'm fine now.
No. Oh, this is the guild marm. Very pretty. That's cool.
Hey, over here.
Hi, Elma.
Are you ready to go?
Oh, we could just head out. That's kind of cool. Let's see what the quests look like.
Any quests you want to go on?
I don't remember. Are they planning on doing any DLC for Monster Hunter Wilds, or are they not doing one? Any? Oh dear God. I just wanted to see what all the event quests are, and considering most of them are, like that,
I'll be
they're
waiting
all
here.
question marks. I don't think we get to see. Hello, Unicorn Dust. Welcome, welcome, hun. I am MomoYumeko, a magical girl in training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming over here on IRIAM, and a few days a week over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Az. Welcome, welcome, hun. Hey, yeah, no, don't do that.
Are you ready to go? We'll escort you back to your
Thank you.
Alright, off we go! Mission time!
Did you hear about provisions honey shortage? We should see if we can scrounge any up.
If it's honey you're after,
Yeah,
I know
go
the
ahead.
perfect spot. I'll show you the way.
Wag! Do the finger wag!
Well then,
Thank you,
shall
Mud.
we? You're lucky. Most people don't know about the spot I'm taking you to.
But yeah, no,
Be careful.
I like Wild so far. It's very pretty. Is there a little bit of stuttering here and there? Yes.
Is your
But I
village
think it's
far?
because it's, I think, an open world.
A little. But on the sacred, we'll be there in no time.
So it doesn't load in the
Move
quest.
fast, all right.
You're just kind of here.
Yes, and handy if you need to make a quick getaway from a monster. They're clever too, and good at picking up scents. I don't know what my people would do without them.
I want to become a sacred rider too.
Oh.
I'm sure you'll be a great one,
Nope.
Nona.
Not allowed to go off. Yeah.
I see a lot of pulverite. It's like the whole valley is made of it.
Flash flies.
Right? Are you talking about gem chime
Ooh,
stones?
is this?
Gem
Nope.
chime stones. What a lovely name. Why do you call them that?
Once we reach the village, you'll see.
Gem chime stones. I like how the rocks are done too. At least I think this is rocks. Almost looks like plant. Like coral.
Wow, look at that. There's so many of them. Let's get closer.
Tread carefully.
Creatures.
Incredible. I've never heard of a Karaknoth herd this big before. Some of them have big spikes on their backs. That's the male. Each herd consists of one male and a number of females.
Big boy. Big spiky boy.
Here we've got Dalphodons. Wouldn't want to butt heads with those things.
Hee 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 hee. Creatures.
Don't worry, they're not aggressive at all.
I like Monster Hunter. It's fun. I like the surveying things vibe. It's always nice.
Is that a mountain? What a weird shape.
Oh,
You think so? We call it wind's gasp.
It definitely takes my breath away.
All right.
yeah.
This is the spot.
Great, thank you.
Over here.
You know, that makes sense.
It smells so good. Be careful.
Especially, and again, first thing they say.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, wrong way.
What do you mean wrong way? There's honey right over there. Oh, do you want me to go in a certain...
That should be enough, honey. On to the village then?
Yes. Please follow me.
Yeah, no, like, I know my model's thick. That's kind of also the reason why I'm kind of glad with the model I'm gonna be going with for Live 2D.
Don't wander too far off.
It's going to be a little toned down.
Oh no.
Okay, a lot toned down because of the art style.
I completely forgot.
You're in for it now.
So,
Yeah, Zato's gonna
it'll
get me in
probably
here.
help with the comments.
Is there anything we can do to help?
Hello, Nutters!
Please,
Welcome,
no.
welcome, hun.
If anything, it's me who owes you a favor.
My boy won't be able to handle the psycho model.
To the villagers, we're outsiders. We don't want to do anything to
On
offend
Twitch, I've
them.
been using the chibi model a
It'll be
lot
fine.
because
Just play it cool.
I've been playing a few
Do you
games that
think
are a
they have
little
felines
more
like me there?
hard on
Good
the
question. The guild hasn't
thing.
seen evidence of any Linians in the region, but you never know. I'll do my best not to startle them.
Yoink. Hello, Luna. Welcome, hun. I am MomoYumeko, Magical Ground Training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming over here on IRIAM and a few days a week over on Twitch. We're currently playing some Monster Hunter Wilds and just chilling. Gameplay's over on Twitch end.
Sorry we're late. Better late than dead.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love my model
I had a
parrot.
run-in with a
My model
giant
mama
toad.
did so well.
Might have been its lunch if this kid hadn't come along.
Hello, sir. On behalf of the...
You have rescued my friends. For that
Oh,
I
look at
thank
all the crystals.
you. However, your visit is ill-timed.
I guess that's what they were
I
meaning
must
by the
ask
wind
you to
crystals.
But we owe them our hospitality. At least
One more thing, which I am sure you understand. The sacred are precious to our village.
Of course,
So they
we'll
call
be
them
returning at once.
sacrets.
Thanks for letting us use them.
Spark will be
We'll
sad.
return them. Huh? Where are you going?
They are going to get nerfed. They are going to get nerfed because of the art style, but the I will have art done
Sergeants seem to know what weapons they
eventually, like in my normal style of 2.0.
What the...
I don't think so. Yeah, 2.0 is... I did it in that style for the reference pictures.
These are blotchy.
Bug.
Authorization?
Alright, hammer time.
Authorizes you to neutralize the threat.
Oh, I'm getting nuked. Bonk. Bonk. Oh, holy bugs. Get off of me! Off!
There's no end to them. Something's coming from over there.
Bug. What in the heck? Oh. It looks like a manticore. Minus the wings. Yes! I like hammer and bow. Those are my two weapons. Although I do like the glaive also.
Can we get out of here? I almost bite my fur.
Yeah, let's move.
It's also weird hearing the palico talk.
That was a fanged beast, right?
Long gnashers, sharp claws? Yeah, I'd say so.
I want to know what kind of monster that was. That was cool as heck.
Those villagers don't have weapons. This doesn't add up. They must have means of keeping the monsters out. Maybe they've got some kind of thingamabobble.
But yeah, I like hammer. Hammer's fun. I get to run around and bonk.
Almost there.
It is a little different from World, so it'll probably take some getting used to.
Already.
But that's fine. Wow. Yep, exactly. We flatten. We break stuff
Well, here we are. Home sweet
instead of
home.
cutting off the tails.
It's too bad they didn't let us in the village. Yeah,
Le bonk.
I guess they had their reasons. For now, let's worry about getting this honey to provisions. With all the new personnel showing up, this honey could really make a difference.
Yippee, honey. Hey, friend, I brought you your honey. Oops. I mean, I had to heal anyways.
Hey there.
Just used a mega potion.
Did you bring
Oh
me
well.
some? Sweet deal.
I might have
Honey is
to
the sticky secret to our healing potions.
fix my
You're literally a
my
lifesaver.
keybinds.
This is for your trouble.
Keybinds are a little borked.
And since the support team's still speaking of, where are those furry transporters? They should have been here by now. Either way, can I interest you in something?
Thank you for the provisions.
Alright, we're here if you need it.
Hello, Lilith. Welcome, hun. I'm MomoYumeko, magical girl in training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming. Over here on IRIAM, and a few times a week over on Twitch. Let me change my keybinds real quick. Do it here? Huh. I want to fix this. We'll do that. Inaccessibility is oh, there it is. There we go. Oops. Use the bidet. Goodness gracious. No, I have not. I've never used a bidet. Yeah, no, I haven't been around anything for that. Oh. Hang on. Bonking a bot. It'll load in eventually. Bonk. There we go. Have one attached to my yeah, no, I've never used one of those. Button configurations. That's fine. Let's do short. I keep on accidentally hitting A. Disable auto sheath. Oh, this is fine, I think. Okay, I think that's all I needed. Use a fire hydrant. Oh, I want to see this kitty. Athos. Oh, look how fluffy he is. And his little greatsword. He's so fluffy. The support team. Look how fluffy. They are fluffy friend. Hee hee hee. Alright. Hi, Gemma.
I've got some materials you can use. How about you put them to good use and upgrade that weapon of yours?
Materials received. Iron ore. Nice.
What are we making today?
Probably should make that, but I want to see if I can see the other hammers. I cannot. I'm not allowed to see the other hammers. Does this have any special stuff? Nope. Oh, it has defense stuff. Less physical damage taken. Hmm. So the weapons have stuff. Your boy still got an hour and 30 minutes before badge? Heck yeah. I might be cutting stream soon. I think I started streaming at about 4 something. Been going, we'll give it another 30-ish minutes. How about that? Oh, hello Asabora! Welcome, welcome! Hello Raiders! Welcome! Thank you for the raid! I'll go ahead and, I'm MomoYumeko, Magical Girl in Training with IRIAM US. We're playing, Monster Hunter for the first time, Monster Hunter Wilds for the first time. Welcome everybody! Yep, Twitch raid! Yeah, we're brand new to it. Oops.
What are we making today?
Accidentally exited out of my thing.
Look good?
Here we go. Making us a new hammer. Yeah, welcome in everybody. We're just vibing.
Perfect.
I normally play like a cozier game on Sundays. I figured this was a nice change of pace from Soulframe
I'm ready
or
to work.
Warframe. Oh, no. Don't want to make another one of those. And we'll go ahead and make another one.
Look good?
Oops.
Got something in mind? I'm ready.
I'm a big lover of World.
Alrighty.
World was my favorite and what got me back into playing Monster Hunter a lot. But I also do like Wild so far. Rise did not do it for me. I still have to finish Rise though. Yeah! Yeah, no, this is my first time playing it fully, so...
You can find more of this
I'm a
weapon
dirty
deposits
hammer main.
poking up out of the ground.
Also, hello Bass Pro! Welcome, welcome on. Over on IRIAM end.
They're loaded with all. We have no idea what's out here, so it's best to be prepared. Carry a big stick, as they
If
say.
you're wondering who I am talking
So, if you
to
need anything, you know where
in
to find me.
not in Twitch chat, that is IRIAM chat, because I normally co-stream with them too. We sometimes get a little chaotic, but that's okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Jay. No, not Bass Pro. Bass Pro Shop. They gonna come get ya, Jay. The universe is calling me. Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, we sometimes get a little bit of chaotic, but most of the time it's normally a pretty chill time. Let's see here. Yeah, feel free to lurk.
Hey,
I'm very lurker friendly.
can I talk
Feel
to you
free
real
to
quick?
put me on the background vibe, make you some dinner, take your meds, that sort of thing.
It's about the support team. They should have been here by now. I mapped out what their route ought to be. From the desert,
Ooh.
they'd enter the grasslands and... An SOS flare! You don't
Oh.
think...
Come on.
Here we
Careful
go.
out there, Hunter.
Oh,
Follow the scout flies!
we do have Skill for Life stuff.
It must be them.
Hurry!
Move those hindquarters!
Heck yeah, we got the Scaleflies again. Head towards the SOS flare. Are we going the right way?
The support team must be in trouble.
Surely we're going the right way. Are you looking for the bread? It's over there. I made a sandwich earlier. Oh, it's over there. Do we go down this way? Yes, we do. Meow, meow, meow,
Hold on,
meow,
everyone!
meow.
I'm coming to help!
I like the spires of, like, it almost looks like lead
There they are!
poking up from the ground. Oh, what is that? Go, Risk, go! Well, that's cool, like a monster. Oh, it looks like a chicken! Like an actual chicken. It is a fire-breathing chicken. Let's go! Hello, Bass Pro! Over on Twitch End.
No, you don't! Why don't they just put the meat
Oh,
down?
whoa. Bow, bow, bow. But yeah, no, the thing looks like a giant chicken.
Get on! Hurry!
Are we allowed to?
We can talk about it later. We have to follow them.
Get on the bird! We got a monster to hunt!
We're safe.
We'll meet up later.
Hello, Smart Crocodile. Welcome, welcome. I am MomoYumeko, Magical Girl in Training. I do cozy streams, TTRPG streams, and gaming over here on IRIAM, and a few days a week over on Twitch. We're playing some Monster Hunter Wilds and just vibing. as normal. Gameplay is over on Twitch end. And we're just chilling. This is my first time playing Monster Hunter Wilds and 99% of a blind playthrough. The only things I've seen about Wilds is how pretty it looks. I was right! It is like a cockatrice. Hammer time! Ooh, the lag. A cockatrice. You know, the birds that are the giant chicken lizards that can, like, freeze you. Some mythologies have them breathing fire. Yeah, cockatrice. Bonk. 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 Sussatrice? What do you mean sussatrice? It's a giant chicken! Where? Oh, God. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's even pecking me. Oh! Yeah. It looks like one. I love the fact that it pecks. Bonk. I'm kinda sad we don't have our spinny. But that's okay. Bonking in time. Oh! It flapped me away. The cuckabirds. No! We are not doing the birds. We do not the bird. Do not the bird. Give me your face.
Oh, it looks angry. Leave this to me. Heel's inbound.
Oh, thank you for the heal. The lag.
Looks like it's moving to a new area.
It's not healing yet, so... It really wants me to send SOS flares, huh? Now we got this. We are fighting a monster that kind of reminds me of the cockatrice. What do you mean taking a picture? Yes! Monster Hunter! Monster Hunter Wilds! Broke its tail. Let's go. Exactly! You gotta tenderize the chicken. I'm gonna make you into chicken ramen. You will feed the camp for weeks.
The terrain there, I think we can use it in combat.
Yeah, we'll have dinner for a while. its fire's coming from. I like to think that it's breathing it, but it looks like it's coming from its tail. Which is kinda cool. How do I roll? Okay. Oh, right, because I switched it with, B, so... Yeah, that's a really cool, concept. Oh, we gotta... Let's, do this real quick. Please don't attack me. Of course you peck me. That's fine, I can take the peck. Tail swipe, on the other hand, I do not like that. That peck did feel personal! Yeah, no, that peck, it was like, oh, you're over here, doing your thing? Yeah, no, I'm gonna come and peck you. Hello, Ten Tap. Welcome, hun. Wah, bonk. Bonk. Oh, you're eating pizza? Nice. Oh no. Oh no. Divine... You know, divine, blessing coming in to block the peck is really funny.
Power up, activated.
Give me that face. Alright, it's running off. Alrighty, off we go!
Don't mind if I do.
Yippee! Off to go find the big ol' burb. Off we go. And think about 1 or 2 hits might do us well. Oh, we almost got it killed. Bonk. What's up? Bonk. There we go. What? Bruh. Think that chicken had flatheads? Yeah, no, you're gonna be like, huh? Why did the chicken cool looking. Like, the design of it is really nice. We'll go ahead and end. The Sequit took all of the thingy. Took the sausage. But yeah, no, that one peck felt personal. I'm over here. Over here, trying to sharpen my weapon, and it just saunters over and pecks me, and that's it. But yeah, no, like any other hammer main, we bonked the head. Chicken was bored.
You saved everyone.
Yeah, no, it booped and then left.
I thought you might need these sacred. You look after them, won't you?
Yeah, it was bored with fighting, it was bored fighting
They belong with you.
Riss.
I've never met more
They wanted the magical girl.
And I had Gemma make you a new saddle.
Ooh, saddle.
I sure did. Even added a holster so you can carry an additional weapon.
Ooh.
That'll come in handy.
Ooh.
And one more thing.
We can switch our weapon
wondering if
out
you'd
in
like
the
to visit my
out
home.
in the battlefield like that.
Since Zato,
That's
my
nice.
grandmother told me now would be a great time to pay back the favor I owe.
I'll be able to use bow and hammer.
I'd love to, thank you.
Or hammer and insect glaive.
I'll be waiting until you're ready to go.
And not have to backtrack back to the camp.
Oh, by the way, everyone's been asking about you.
This is just way too exciting.
Nata, we should get ready.
It's nice because you do kind of feel like you are an established hunter
Remember to be respectful.
here.
Okay.
Which is really nice. It's a nice breath of fresh air. Go to the ingredient center.
Thanks for saving my whiskers, Hunter. I wasn't sure I would make it to base camp. But now, here I am, ready with the on-the-go must-have ingredients a hunter hungers for. That's sort of my job, you see. I'm a purveyor. Call me Tom.
Tom the cat. Tom the Palico. Amazing.
The better you eat, the more health and stamina you'll have. Makes things easier out there. Here,
Oh!
I'm setting you up with a
Our
little
food
thank you.
area.
What do you say to whipping something up?
Nice.
Mew. I'll let you know when the next round's ready.
Oh, you get your ingredients from him. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Its job is to spam you rations until you can't be bothered.
Well, what can I do for you?
Beautiful. But yeah. Let's see here. This might be a good place to be off. Let me check. Oh. So, we'll go ahead and call it here for the night, I think. I think that's a good stopping place for now. Let me pop over to my OBS real quick. And transition over. There we go. Ooh, we are lagging. Me. Real quick. Get out of game. Because that might be it. Come on, game.
Help yourself to some provisions.
There we go. Alright. So, IRIAM end. Tomorrow will be co-working. And then probably some other stuff. Twitch end. We will probably not have stream tomorrow. Tomorrow and Tuesday is my co-working over on IRIAM end. Wednesday we're going to be off. And then Thursday will probably be Warframe. Outside of that, I think that's about it. We'll probably raid into Lavi both ends. Cause she's streaming right now. So, give me 2 seconds. We're gonna raid into, Lavi Bakaneko. She's a, good friend of mine. And a, cat girl, vampire with Bon Livien. She's currently playing, Stardew. Probably with a few other people. But yeah, give me 2 seconds. I can't remember, is it / or /? We're about to find out. And as always, I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe. I don't have to come and protect you. And goodbye, everybody. Stay safe. Making sure that I spelt this right. Yes, I did. Go get her.